This hour is brought to you by the African Muslims Agency, fired up with Hafiz Imran Choonara, personal excellence mentor and CEO of African Muslim Agency. Today's topic, we have lessons from others in humanity. A very good morning to you. Assalamu alaikum. Hafiz Hussain Choonara.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for having us on. It's Hafiz Hussain speaking. Shukran for having us on Salam Media this morning.
Today's topic is the lessons from others in humanity. Do let us know what's your views and thoughts on this.
Alhamdulillah, of course, in terms of, firstly, I want to remind the listeners of Salam Media that, of course, many people think that to be a humanitarian, you have to be part of an organization, and it's never like that. It's always that we are all humanitarian, irrespective of what industry you work in, irrespective of what you do or where you are in your life. It doesn't matter if you're working, if you're a doctor, if you're an accountant, if you're a housewife, if you're a student or at home. We are all humanitarian. You don't have to be part of an organization to serve another human being. Nor do you have to go to Gaza or Sudan or Afghanistan or Africa or anywhere to serve or to be a humanitarian. But sometimes there is this perception that, of course, to be a humanitarian, you need to go to these places only, or you need to be part of an organization, and never such. Wherever you are, we are all humanitarian first. Because as Muslims, we know the best of creation are those that serve another human being. So we are all the creation of Allah. We are all striving to be the best. And Allah brings to our attention of the situation of our brothers and sisters in different parts of the world for us to respond to. Because let's face it, Allah can change the situation Allah can change any situation. Allah knows what's happening in Gaza, Afghanistan, Sudan. He knows Africa. He knows the people starving. He knows that. Allah is testing them, but Allah also tests us more because we know what we have. We know the blessings that we have. And, so we always remind ourselves at African Muslims Agency that we're never doing anybody a favor by serving them. Never. They are doing us a favor by allowing us to be in their space to serve them. And of course, I can recall so many lessons over time where, even if your subconscious thinks that, I am doing something to help someone, you are reminded immediately that they're actually doing you a favor. And if I can just think recently over the past times, and I've shared this story many times on Salam Media as well, but on countless times and occasions, where you find yourself in a village in Africa or in a community in South Africa, or in, for example, let's connect it to the month of Ramadan. Let's connect it to the month where, Salah is increased, for example. Of course, charity is increased. Reciting Quran is increased. All that we do on a daily basis is increased in the month of Ramadan. But also Ramadan being the month of Salah, I remember meeting this one brother. We were out in the Eastern Cape in South Africa, in one of the poorest areas. Eastern Cape being one of the most poorest provinces in South Africa, 75% of the population of the Eastern Cape below the poverty line. Alhamdulillah, through the mercy of Allah and generosity of donors and our partners with on the ground in the Eastern Cape, for example, with Safe Cash and Carry and other partners on the ground, we're able to serve in these communities on a daily basis. I remember meeting this one brother in his, I can call it, obviously it's a place where he's staying, so you call it his home. It is literally a small room. And this brother he had one leg only. He was walking on a crutch. And, I met him, I think it was just before Ramadan or in Ramadan. And, you walk into this room, it's dark. It's kind of moldy because there's no ventilation. There's a small mattress on the floor. There's no electrical points. There's no electrical infrastructure. There's no microwave stoves. There's no heaters. There's no cupboards. There's no carpet. You're sleeping on the cement floor on a mattress in the small, dingy room. And dingy, just to give you context for the situation, not, of course, for him get his space of comfort. And just interacting with the brother, I asked him, what does he want for Ramadan? And the brother, of course, was sitting on his crutch on the floor, and he says, my situation is from Allah, for whatever Allah will provide. And, at that moment you think that, sitting there, of course, maybe whatever, in terms of the few of us in that room, together, we probably had more than what was in that room, just to give you context. But that brother had more than us. That brother had the faith in Allah that his situation is from Allah, and whatever Allah brings to him, it will come. And only to find out after discussing what, to continue to speak with him, to realize that, so I asked him, how does he get mobile? Like, how does he walk here on the crutch? He walks very slowly. How does he get mobile? What does he do in Ramadan? He says, no, I go for salah. He walks on his crutch and he walks 4 kilometers. He gets to a masjid and he stands with his crutch and he makes his salah. And I thought at that moment, these are lessons for us. Allah brings to our attention. As much as we think we're there to serve someone else, they are there to serve us. Allah's put them in a position to give us lessons. What should we be grateful for? What is our excuse? That brother, with his crutch, with his situation being the way it is, unable to walk, no food, nothing, but he has faith in Allah and he makes every effort to go to the masjid, to stand in Taraweeh, to make his salah, and there's a conviction of Allah, it provides for him. And like this, you can go through many, many, many more lessons that we learn. I talked about the girl who was blind in Afghanistan who I met. And of course, again, orphan child, in Afghanistan, millions of orphans in need, and children don't have. And, I asked her, at that point, what do? You don't have any money, you don't have any clothing, you don't have any food, but she has a dream to be a doctor. She has a dream, she has a hope. And as Muslims, we live with hope. Again, a lesson for us that she has more than me, because she has the faith. She has the belief in Allah. She has the humility. She had the sincerity. So I just want to share that with the listeners of Salam Media this morning, that, the month of Ramadan, a month of increasing in Salah, in Quran, in charity, and we must continue to do that, especially in these last days of the blessed month of Ramadan. We must continue to do more, but always know that we are all humanitarian in whatever space we are, wherever we are. Allah, wherever you are, you can do something to serve another human being. If you're at school, serve your teacher. If you are at home, serve your parents. Serve someone outside your door. Whatever way, share a smile. And remember that when you do that, it's Allah giving you the opportunity to fulfill your niyyah. And remember that you are not doing anybody a favor. Rather, the people that you are serving are doing us a favor by allowing them to be in this place to earn Allah's blessings, Allah's mercy, and Allah's forgiveness. Jazakallah for having us on Salam Media.
No, shukran for that and for that powerful reminder. That was Hafiz Hussain Choonara, who was talking to us about lessons from others in humanity. An important highlight to say that we don't actually have to be in the geographic location to actually assist. A very powerful reminder. And I think a local South African proverb would say something like "Izandla ziyagezana," which means, roughly translated, that hands wash each other, which then signifies the importance of helping each other succeed. Shukran so much for that reminder, Hafiz Hussain Choonara. We are going into an ad break and we will be right back after this.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.